And as for the Oilers, they returned to Edmonton right after their Game 2 loss. They got on a plane. Meanwhile, the Panthers, they decided to stay around, get an extra practice in Florida. And then today was a very long travel day.
Yeah, they might have been second-guessing their decision to leave this afternoon. Awful weather in Florida. And you know, hockey players are creatures of habit. Well, their routines have been thrown to the wind. The Panthers' flight to E-Town delayed over 3.5 hours today because of monsoon-type weather in the South Florida region. Panthers were scheduled to take off around 1 p.m. Eastern time. Their flight was delayed until 4:30 p.m. They finally touched down in Edmonton around 10 p.m. Eastern. That's less than 24 hours before their Game 3 matchup against the Oil. Panthers will be playing their first game in the Mountain Time Zone since February.
Joined now by our NHL analyst, Marty Biron. And Marty, I think we both knew travel would be a topic in this series. We did not expect major flight delays to play a factor. How do you think the Panthers will be affected by all of this?
Well, you know what, Lindsay, there's a couple of things when you look at travel, especially long travel. There's a physical side of it and a mental side of it. The mental side of it for the Florida Panthers right now is they're out of their routine. Usually when you're in the playoffs, the night before a game, you go as a team, you get dinner, you hang out at the hotel, you play cards, watch other games, other sporting events, play video games. They're not going to get a chance to do that. And they probably are mentally thinking, okay, we've been doing that for 7 weeks now. How do we adjust, right? Physically, not only was it going to be a long travel day, it's even worse when you have to sit on the plane for 4 hours before even departing on a 5-hour trip. So there's a physical and a mental side of it right now. But look, you're professional athletes. You have to be able to overcome that. Obviously, you got a team around you that's going to help you. But I feel that mentally, getting out of your routine is probably what would have bugged me the most out of this whole travel situation. And we do hope that everybody in Florida is doing well with all the flooding that's happening down there.
Absolutely. And of course, travel struggles are never fun, Marty. You know who else is struggling? The Oilers power play. 0 for 7 on the power play in this series. Connor McDavid, he even suggested the team perhaps shouldn't worry about structure, try to play a little more freely. Do you agree with what McDavid said?
Well, you know, it's hard to not agree with the best player in the world, but I did suggest yesterday that they should have more structure to their power play. They seem to be skating a little bit all over the place, and the puck moves faster when you pass it as opposed to skate it. But McDavid may have a point here because they were 4 for 5 in the last 2 games against the Dallas Stars, and 3 of those goals came on unstructured situation. 2 zone entries and 1 where Connor McDavid just made something special happen, the first goal of Game 6. So maybe McDavid is looking at 3 of the last 4 goals on the power play saying, hey, we didn't worry about the structure. We improvise on entries. We improvise in zone, and that's how we got success. Because right now the Florida Panthers are absolutely knowing before the Oilers are even making the plays where the puck is going to go. So the lack of structure, the freewheeling, as McDavid pointed out, maybe is a good thing. I like structure, but hey, McDavid's the best player in the world. I'm going to let him do what he wants to do.
Free flowing. And you mentioned earlier in the playoffs, Marty, yes, Edmonton's power play was clicking at just over 37% through the first 3 rounds of the playoffs, but they'll look to get their first power play goal of this series as they get set for Game 3 in Edmonton. Thanks for this, Marty.